Sounded like a fun female rage revenge story. Weird things start happening, weird demonic shit, and it was wackadoodle. Girls being dogs, dogs being girls. Oh, you tried to kill me? Should we kiss on the mouth instead? Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, and on this channel I like to talk about home stuff and book stuff. Today's a book stuff video. More specifically, I'll be going through all of the books on my physical TBR. Hey, really quickly, if you're one of the, 9 people that watch my YouTube videos, you may remember about a month ago, I talked about how I was impaled by a staple in the finger when trying to assemble a mic stand. That's this mic stand. We've kissed and made up. I figured out how to make it work because we had some issues with it fitting. We came up with a creative solution, so I let it stay, and we have no beef anymore unless it tries to rebel and injure me once more. To my left, you will see all of my books that I currently have physical copies of. You will notice as I start talking about them, it's mostly horror, different subgenres of horror. I don't know why I don't buy romance books anymore. Unless it's something I think I'm going to rate 5 stars, 4.5 to 5 stars. I'm not interested in buying a physical copy. I'd rather just get it on my Kindle. I don't know. There may be a pretentiousness element in there. I have a total of 12 books on my physical TBR. Really quick aside, if you're a regular person like me, it is totally normal to have a small physical TBR. Not totally normal to have a 100 plus book physical TBR that you're trying to slowly hack your way through. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I'm going to go through my list here. My goal with this video is to just chit chat about books I'm excited to read. And then hopefully if you've not heard of some of these titles and they sound interesting to you based on the descriptions, maybe you'll put them on your own TBRs. Okay, so the first book, in no particular order, is Such Pretty Flowers by K.L. Sarah. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. This one is about a woman named Holly, whose brother Dane is found cleaved open in his girlfriend's lavish Savannah home. And they think, or police think, that he had a bout of psychosis that sparked this apparent suicide, but Holly is determined to find the truth. So she actually begins stalking Mara, who is this very odd florist that loves carnivorous plants, and she begins to become kind of obsessed with her. So this story is about what essentially follows after that, and her trying to find out the truth about what happened to her brother. Next, I bought these first 2 books together. I don't know why I was on like a plant kick, but this one is called A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock. This one is about 2 gay men who live together in Victorian London. Yes, they kind of keep to themselves and their arts. Simon is a taxidermical artist. Gregor does business in exotic plants. One of his recent acquisitions lands him an odd fungus that shows signs of intellect. And what I'm gathering from the rest of this synopsis is that they essentially create, fusing together their 2 specializations and interests, they create this kind of like Frankenstein daughter. Why it's called A Botanical Daughter. And I'm assuming horrific and chaotic things ensue once this daughter, Chloe, they call her, becomes more than they probably bargained for. Next, we have What Feasts at Night. I took the dust jacket off. What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. This is the second book after What Moves the Dead. I read that in January. I really liked it. I rated it 4 stars. And I'd been looking forward to this coming out. It came out in February. What Moves the Dead is, I believe, a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher. I won't say anything necessarily about that book, but our main character, Alex, is tasked with checking on a friend, Madeline Usher, and uncovers something odd at the Usher mansion. I won't say what it is. But anyway, this next book is following the aftermath of that. And Alex goes to, as a favor to a couple of the characters that come out of the first book as well. They find themselves heading to their family hunting lodge deep in the cold, damp forests of their home country, Galatia. This is on the synopsis, so I'm not spoiling anything. When they get to their family cabin, they find the caretaker dead, the lodge is in complete disarray, and the grounds are troubled by an odd silence. And the villagers are whispering about a monster from folklore that has taken up residence in the home. This also, quick piece of info, has non-binary representation, I believe, because Alex goes by they, them pronouns. So that's really cool. Next, I have Let the Right One In. Oh, this name, I'm going to butcher it. John Ajvid Lindqvist. Ooh, I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. The story may sound familiar because it's been since made into a movie. It was years ago. I think it has Chloe Grace Moretz in it. It is about a small suburban town in Sweden, I want to say. And there's a young boy whose body is found drained of blood, and police think it was some sort of ritual sacrifice. Around the same time the body is found, a young girl moves in next door to our main character. I won't lie to you, I've had this for 2 years and I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. And the only reason I haven't read it is because it's long. The print is kind of small. It's almost 500 pages, so I'll get there. I promise, eventually. Next up, we have Reluctant Mortals by Gwendolyn Christie. I hope I'm saying that right. This is about 2 women, Lucy and Bertha, who are sort of forgotten women in classic literature. Lucy was a victim of Stoker's Dracula, and Bertha is from Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. In this story, they are undead immortals residing in Los Angeles in 1967 when Dracula and Rochester make a shocking return to the district they're located in San Francisco. It sounded like a fun female rage revenge story. Next, we have Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. This is a horror comedy. This story is about a woman named Amy who moves to a Chicago suburb and finds herself kind of on the outskirts of the PTA crowd. She befriends a few other women who are in a similar social situation, I'm assuming. And one night when they're having a get-together, they concoct a plan to create a she shed in Liz's backyard, one of the friends. And the night that they christen the she shed, we don't know what that christening is, something starts to feel off. Weird things start happening. Weird demonic starts happening. And they gotta save their friend Liz, is what it sounds like to me. So, looking forward to that. Next, I have Your Utopia. This is by Bora Chung. I read Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung this month, and it was wackadoodle. It was very weird. Another collection of short stories. This one is centered around discovery, idealism, dystopia, death and immortality, tales of loss, a lot of wry humor, tender moments. I'm not sure what more I can say because there's a bunch of short stories in here and I don't necessarily want to describe each one, but based on how Cursed Bunny made me feel, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this. I will be left quite confused, I'm sure, because I'm not quite there yet with some of this type of writing, these types of stories where when I'm done with the story, I'm like, what the did I just read? I don't know. But I like stuff like that. I like stuff that makes me feel a little stupid when I'm done reading it because then I want to figure out what's going on, what it was about, and what the underlying themes were and commentaries were. Next I have Organ Meats by K. Ming Chang. This sounds so bizarre. I love it. It sounds so weird. This is about two best friends, Anita and Rainey, that can talk to dogs, basically. Or at least they find themselves being able to talk to a particular group of stray dogs that are capable of communicating with humans. They then learn that they're preceded by generations of dog-headed women and women-headed dogs whose bloodlines knot them together. I'm just going to read the rest of the synopsis to you because that's the only way I can accurately describe what this story is about. So Anita convinces Rainey to become a dog with her, tying a collar of red string around each of their necks to preserve their kinship forever. But when the girls are separated, Anita sinks into her dreams and lands herself into a coma that only Rainey knows how to rouse her from. As Anita's body begins to rot, her mind straying farther and farther away from the waking world, it's up to Rainey to rebuild her friend's body and keep Anita from being lost forever. Tasked with gathering new organs from the mythical landscape of their shared childhood, Rainey must return to the past and ask herself how far she's willing to go to reunite with the girls who haunted her and hunted her in equal measure. Sounds weird, which is why I grabbed it. Girls being dogs, dogs being girls. Next I have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. Not a horror novel. One of the few romances, I think this is a romance, that I actually have a physical copy of. So this is about Emily Wilde, who is a Cambridge professor. She is the foremost expert on studying fairies, and she is working on writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. She travels to a village, I'm assuming to uncover the secrets of the hidden ones, the most elusive of all fairies. When she arrives, she meets her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bamblebee, which is the namiest name I've ever heard. So that sounds like a jam and a half. I got this is why I bought the physical copy. This is like the Barnes & Noble exclusive. Next we have White Cat, Black Dog by Kelly Link. This is another collection of short stories. This is like I don't think this is horror. No. It's in the subgenres. Fantasy, magical, fiction. So this is a collection of short stories that are inspired by the Brothers Grimm, 17th century French lore, and Scottish ballads. The author Kelly Link spins classic fairy tales into utterly original stories of seekers, characters on the hunt for love, connection, revenge, and their own sense of purpose. Next, I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Hey, I don't know what this is about. I copied and pasted the synopsis in my little notes, and then I didn't look at it again. I bought this because of TikTok. I bought this because of Bookstagram. I bought this because all of the girls told me that I should read this. This appears to be maybe an enemies to lovers romantasy about a young girl named Peyton who lives in this kingdom called Ilia, where we essentially have two castes of people. We have the elites and the ordinaries. The elites have this special gift that the ordinaries do not. And one day the king decrees that all ordinaries need to be banished from the kingdom. It is now illegal to not be an elite. So Peyton poses as a psychic in this city and tries to blend in with the elites as best as she can to try to stay alive. And one day, she unexpectedly saves one of Ilia's princes and is thrown into what is called the Purging Trials, a brutal competition to showcase the elite's power, the very thing Peyton lacks. And I'm assuming the rest of the story is about those trials and the prince that she accidentally saved, and how she super does not want to fall in love with him, but she does anyway. Oh, shucksy doodles. And the last book on my physical TBR is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. This is the first book in the Brutal Birthright series. This is a standalone dark mafia romance, and I believe it is a marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers situation, about two people, Callum and our female main character, who is not named in the summary. Their families believe that a marriage pact is the only thing that will prevent all-out warfare between their families. So, gotta love a true enemies to lovers. Oh, you tried to kill me? Should we kiss on the mouth instead? I'm really looking forward to reading this very, very soon. And those are all my physical books. I really hope to be able to read all of them before the end of the year. I think it's very doable, but we'll see. That's the goal. We'll see if I can complete it. If you like this video, I would super appreciate a thumbs up. If any of these books are on your physical TBR as well, I'd love to know. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I hope you come back soon. Bye.